This is Boxing Chit Chat. This is Ben, and I've got Nicola Hopewell with me. How are you doing today? Okay?
I'm good, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Good.
First of all, just talk about your pro career up to now and how impressed you are with it and what things you're looking to work on for the future.
So I had a good amateur career. So I had 32 fights as an amateur, won 23. And then I did 6 professional fights with Bieber. I won 5 bar stoppage and then 1 on points to win the European WBL title. I've got the PBC title as well, which I won in my first fight. And then now I've just recently signed with British Boxing Board. So I'm starting again.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit. So, what would that entail? Are you signing with them?
Really excited. I just feel like it's like the next step of my journey and open a few more doors and bigger, more opportunities. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. And obviously, you get to box in different venues as well, won't you? Big stage for yourself.
Yeah, and there's better opportunities to like box on a bigger stage, and like I might not, but at least with the British Boxing Board, you've got that opportunity if it does ever come up.
Yeah. And what do you think your best attributes have been so far in your pro career?
Oh, I'm not sure. I feel like I think because of like how I come across and how I am, like I'm building like a good fan base and stuff, which is really important because I've got to be able to sell tickets and stuff. And I feel like I'm doing that around the country, not just where I live. Like one of my fights, I was the home fighter, but I was in Brighton. But I built a fan base up in Brighton and around that area, so I was able to sell tickets. So I think that's one of my good attributes. I'm like quite active on social media and like away from the boxing sort of thing. That's one of my attributes. But within the boxing, I train hard, and when I put my mind to it, I do it.
Yeah. And do you often get good sparring? Do you often travel around the gyms to get spar some of the other top girls around?
Yeah. So I've sparred people like Stevie Lever, I've sparred Ebony. In the past, I've sparred like Nicola and Terry Harper. But most recently, I've sparred Stevie and Ebony. Yeah.
And how do you find them experiences? Do you find they've helped you as well progress?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I sparred them because they both had fights coming up. Ebony's world title and Stevie's fight that she did. But yeah, it's all learning for me, and I can learn things from these girls. Like I learn things from Ebony all the time, like in the ring, outside the ring. So it's really good experience me spending time with them.
Yeah. And how do you find the rounds in the 2 minute rounds? Do you ever want to make it go to 3 minute rounds if you can in the future?
To be honest, I like the 2 minute rounds because I'm quite an exciting fighter. Come forward, and I feel like a 3 minute round it maybe pull the girls back a little bit, and the fights won't be as exciting. But I think it's one of them things. If we have to do it in the future, we train for it. Because at the minute, I train for 2 minute rounds. I spar 2 minute rounds because that's what I'm expected to do in a fight. But if they do turn to 3 minute rounds, I'll spar the 3 minute rounds. I'll train the 3 minute rounds, and I'll do them. Yeah.
Yeah. And you just mentioned about your style, the way you come forward and things like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the men have got the Boxer series.
Yeah.
Do you have that at the minute? Is that something you'd be interested in if they brought it up for the women as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. If they brought that up for the women, I'm not sure if they'd be able to do it like just as the UK as a whole. Because I think in my weight division, I think there's only 3 or 4 in the weight in the UK. So I'm not sure that if, like the talent pool's big enough yet. But I think it's something they can look to do in where there's more girls in the weight categories, and I think it's really good. Definitely.
And mentioning about your weight, are you not interested in ever making a move to bantamweight?
If I had to, I could do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because
I want
obviously,
to start at campaigning at Superfly because that's the weight I've always campaigned at and I've always boxed at. But if need be, I could drop to fly or I could go up to bantam. Yeah.
oh, so is that where you feel the most strongest with your power and everything at Superfly?
Yeah. It's very uncomfortable.
Just talk about your amateur career a little bit. Obviously, you won the national development tournament and things like that. You boxed Lisa Whiteside, who's a Commonwealth gold medalist. Is
Yeah.
that something you want to go back to in the pros, fight her again?
I think she's a bit heavier than me now. I think she's gone up a few weight categories, but never say no, never shy away from a challenge. Like, I've been there in the ring with her. So yeah, I'd do it again. And when we fought last time, she'd had 100 and I think it was like 140 amateur fights, and I'd gone into the elite championships my first time. I'd only had that was my 16th fight against them 140 whatever it was. So I'm a lot more experienced now. So yeah, I'd do it again. But yeah, my amateur career, I had development championship. I won gold in that. I won a silver and then a gold the following year. I won numerous box cups. I've got, I think it was 6 golds, 5 silvers, a few bronze. I've the elite championships. I've been a semi-finalist. I've always boxed the #1 seed in GB. So I boxed Lisa Whiteside, Tori Willits twice. So that was a good experience. And I've won 3 belts as an amateur. I won the super flyweight Central England belt. I won the East Midlands belt, and then I went to Ireland and I won the overall box cup winner.
Has this all been in a short space of time? Did you start boxing a bit later than some of the other girls?
I started at 23. I was an amateur for 6 years, so yeah, I did all that in 6 years, and I turned professional. But like with COVID and stuff, I did 6 fights within 2 years, which weren't bad. I did quite a few behind closed doors shows with Bieber. So I got 6 in within the 2 years, so I didn't do bad.
Yeah, that's great. That. And what was the best experience of the amateurs for you?
Oh, I think winning my East Midlands belt, because there was a story behind that. So the East Midlands belt, I boxed a girl, an England girl, quite good. I boxed her and I lost unanimously, so I didn't want to give up. Boxed her again, challenged her again. I lost on a split decision. So obviously I went back again, and then I won her. I won her on a split decision. Took the belt off her, and then when we went to Ireland and I won the overall belt, I'd boxed her and won her unanimously. So that's probably the highlight.
Yeah, that's great because obviously
Yeah.
you've made the improvements in the rematch and you've got better. So
Yeah, I just kept I rematched it twice I lost, and I rematched twice, and then I won the belt. Then when I got to Ireland and did the box cut because we were at the same weight, we both won our quarters and semis, and then obviously we had to box each other in the final, and then I won it unanimously. So that were a good experience for me.
yeah, and obviously, do you watch tapes back of yourself and where you can improve from recent fights?
Yeah, all the time. I'm probably one of my biggest critics. Like, oh, I should have kept my hand up there. I should have thrown a left up there. Yeah, I do it all the time. Pretty in slow mo a little bit as well.
Have you found it? Sorry, have you found it easy to get the fights? Because obviously you've got a lot of talent and you've not had many fights, but you've got that punch as well, haven't you? So not a lot of girls will want to fight you because you've got 5 knockouts and you're 6 wins as well.
Yeah, it was a bit challenging last year. So my last fight I had in October, I ended up boxing one of the girls I'd already boxed again, because I think I'd had like 4 pullouts, and 1 pulled out the day before. So just to get me on the show, obviously we had to ring round, and the girl that I ended up boxing, she's not far from where the venue was, and she did take the fight. It did go on longer than it did last time. This time before, sorry, but yeah, I ended up stopping her again. But yeah, it were hard. I did have some pullouts.
Yeah, and going back to the start again, how did you first become involved in boxing?
I would just went to a gym to get fit, started a boxercise class, and then it just went from there. Really, the boxercise class kind of didn't take off. Not many women were going. So they said, oh, you can just join this academy class. So I joined that. But then during the academy, you do your sparring, you do bag work, pad work, stuff like that. So the more I was learning, the more I wanted to have a go. And there were only a space of 6 months. And I ended up having my first amateur fight, and I stopped her in the 3rd round. Yeah, the 3rd round I stopped her. So yeah, it's quite rare to get stoppages in the amateurs as well. I think I had about 4.
Yeah, yeah, because obviously it's a different. Have you noticed much difference? Obviously, when you've turned professional, like the way they fight and stuff like that. Because obviously the amateurs is more point scoring as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more point scoring, and I think it's more like an amateur style, in and out, bouncing on your feet and stuff like that. But I've noticed with the pros there, it's a slower pace. and you plant your feet and punch rather than like in, out, jumping about like the amateurs do, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest thing I've noticed.
And have you changed your style, like according to the pros as well? Have you done things a little bit different, maybe body shots and stuff,
Yes,
footwork and stuff?
I've done a lot of body shot work and planting my feet more. But I've still I still kept up on top of my footwork because I think that's one of the good things that helps get in and out, not get hit and stuff like that. But when I'm in, I've learned how to plant my feet and I've learned how to like do the body shots, and I've adapted. I've adapted, but I've still kept some of my own style as well.
Yeah, and I've noticed with you as well, you keep a ferocious pace, your non-stop aggression. Do you struggle to keep that up for the duration of the fight? Or what type of training do you do to keep that pace going?
I do a lot of running. I do a lot of sprints, and I do a lot of like bag sprints as well. But I think you've got like in the 8 round. I did a 1 8 round fight that went the full 8 rounds. The pace does slow down. You can't keep that up for the full 8 rounds, 10 rounds, whatever you're doing. But over 4 and 6 rounds, yeah, I'm fine. I can keep it going.
Yeah. So obviously, with you doing the longer rounds, do you like try and vary your attacks a bit and like settle down a bit more? Yeah.
Yeah. You have to. You gotta pick and choose when you're gonna throw your bundles of punches and when you're gonna be in and out and step back a little bit. But yeah, I'm learning that.
Yeah.
So,
And obviously, do you take tips off other fighters and do you look where you can improve and like watch other fighters like some of your heroes and things like that? Watch tapes.
yeah. Watch. I've started. I never used to be like a big boxing fan and watch boxing, but I have started watching it a lot more now. Especially like women's boxing and stuff. I'll watch like Savannah Marshall. I like watching Ebony. I'll watch any fight that's on really. Katie Taylor. I like watching her. So yeah, I'm getting into it and watching what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Katie Taylor's got a massive fight coming up in a couple of weeks with Amanda Serrano. How do you
Yeah.
see that fight going?
I think this one's a pretty tough one to call, to be honest. Like I would like Katie to win. I do think she's done a lot of things for female boxing, but I do feel it could go either way depending on the night because you can't rule Amanda Serrano out.
Yeah, she's a good fighter, isn't she, Amanda?
Yeah, she is.
And obviously there's another mega fight that could be happening. It's not been done yet, but it's Carissa Shields and Savannah Marshall you just mentioned. How would you see that fight going if that got made?
Both fighters are amazing fighters, but with Savannah and her punch power, I think she wins.
Yeah,
I think she causes trouble for Clarissa. Yeah,
yeah, it's going to be a great
it'll
fight,
be
isn't
a
it?
great fight, and it'll be a great build up.
Yeah, because obviously like women's boxing needs fights like that as well, don't they? Obviously, you've got the respect with Taylor and Serrano, but that
Yeah.
fight's a bit more beef involved and a bit more
Oh,
exciting.
a lot more beef involved in
Yeah,
that fight. But I think that's what builds the fights up.
yeah, definitely. And how are you looking to progress your career forward now? Have you got anything in the pipeline for your next fight?
I've just been going through like all my medical process and my licensing process for British Boxing Board. I'm just waiting for all that to be signed off. I only had my medical last week, so as soon as all that's signed off, hopefully it shouldn't be too long before I'm out. I just can't get a date yet until it's signed off.
Yeah. And are you looking to stay busy this year? Looking to have a few fights?
Yeah, hoping so. Yeah, I'd like to get a few in. I'd probably like at least 2 or 3 in end of this year, if not 4. I'd like that. I like to be busy.
And how far away would you say you are from like knocking on the door for world titles and things like that?
Hopefully, I wouldn't be too far away. I know I need to get a few fights under my belt with the British Boxing Board, but ability wise, I'm not a stranger to the ring. I am going in as my debut, but I'm not a stranger to the ring. I've had quite a few amateur fights. I've had the Beaver fights, and I've got a good record on both. So hopefully, I won't be too far away.
Yeah, and obviously I've noticed you like a few women boxers as well. They're not getting the exposure as well. You're one of them, and obviously Lauren Parker have interviewed. Do you think
Yeah.
that'll come more into fruition soon? Like a lot more females will get the exposure that's not been seen as much.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Because like we train as hard as the men as well. So I feel like we do deserve more exposure than what we're getting. But like me and Lauren, I know Lauren as well, and we just have to work really hard to try and build ourselves up. And like then obviously when people start tuning in, like our boxing do the talking, but it is hard, yeah.
Yeah, and are you looking? Is there any dream venue you're looking to box at any time in the future?
I'm a massive Sheffield United fan, so I'd love to box at Bramall Lane.
Yeah,
But yeah, apart from that, I think dream venue probably any arena. Like, yeah.
yeah, and obviously because you can't see much going wrong with your style as well. A lot of fans will be willing to watch you as well, even
Yeah,
from
yeah.
all over the UK.
Hopefully I'd have a lot tuning in and stuff, yeah, so.
And do you ever see like any big nights where it'd be like an all women's boxing shows and things like that in the future?
Hopefully, yeah. When I was with Bieber, I actually headlined an all female show, and that went really well. That was like just on that were on Fight TV. But hopefully going forward, like some of the big promoters, like maybe Eddie Earn or Boxer, they can do an all women's card and see how
Yeah.
it goes. I think it'd go down really well, to be honest, because a lot more people are starting to tune into it, and I think that would just show how many people are interested and how many people are tuning in if it's an all women's card.
Well, if you go back 5 years ago, there's not really compared to now. The progression's unbelievable, isn't it? What the
Yeah,
talent as well.
yeah, I think it's like I think even like 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was rare for a woman to be on a card, but now I feel it's rare if a woman isn't on the card. It's like there's a women's fight on every single card. Where if you go back a few years, it was rare, and like I find it exciting to see a woman on the card. But now I think there's one on every card, and it's rare if there isn't.
Yeah, obviously there was one on last night. Uh, Alicia Baumgartner. Do you rate her much? And do you watch her fights?
I didn't watch it last night, but I was there when she boxed Terry Harper, and I was shocked. I weren't expecting that. And I'd been to the media day a few days before, and I'd actually interviewed her for one of the boxing channels. I went on their behalf, and I'd interviewed her, and I said, "How did you see the fight going?" And she's, "Oh, I'm going to stop Terry." And then obviously on the video, and then I was like, "Yeah, whatever," sort of thing. But then when I was there on the Saturday night, and then I was shocked. I was really shocked because I'd never watched it before. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's all right.
And obviously going to the men's boxing a little bit. Is there any fights you're excited for watching in there?
I like watching Canelo, so he's got one coming up, so I'll watch that. And I'm interested in the Tyson Fury fight, so I'll tune into that as well.
Yeah, good times there, didn't there? Obviously, when you're saying about a women's boxing as well, it seems to be like it's the UK that's producing all the talent as well.
Yes, it does sound like that. Or if not, it's like Sky Nicholson. She's coming out. She came over, and so was Ebony from Australia. But they're boxing on like matchroom cards, so it's the UK that's really pushing it, isn't it? I
Yeah,
feel.
obviously, going forward, how would you like to see your next fights pan out? Then, are you looking to step up the rounds as well?
Well, I've done a 6 round, and I've done They've all mine have been scheduled for 6, apart from one which was scheduled for 8 for my title. So I'd be hoping probably to start at a 6 rounder again. I don't think I can go straight in at 8 because I've got to start from my debut again. And a lot of girls that do debut with British Boxing Board on the 4 rounder. But I'd want to push for a 6. But I think it all depends on what show you're on and how it works out.
Yeah, definitely. And how does your preparation go daily? What would a typical routine be for you?
If I'm in camp, I'd get up and do probably a 5K run, at least probably 4 times a week before work. Go to work all day, then I'll go boxing at night time. And then early night, get my rest, and then back up again to do my run.
Yeah.
Then obviously I've got sparring to fit in there as well. So maybe a weekend sparring, one of the night times at the boxing session, we have to do some sparring. So yeah, we have to work it around work.
Do you find it difficult working alongside your boxing as well?
When I'm in camp, it can be, yeah, it can be quite tiring and quite draining. And then obviously I've got to work sparring around it, and I can't just sit to work. Oh, I've got sparring at 2 o'clock. I've got to go sparring. I have to arrange the sparring for when I finish work, and then obviously when you've done a full day's work, you're not as fresh as you would be if you'd
Yeah.
not worked today. So yeah, it can be, yeah.
Do you think that'll change anytime soon, where you can just do the boxing full time?
Probably not anytime soon. I still need a job. I've still got to get paid, but maybe one day in the future, if I get some good fights, get a world title fight, get some good sponsors on board, maybe it's something I can look at doing, or even reducing my hours. But at the minute now, I've got to work full time.
Yeah. And do you have anything outside of boxing that makes you switch off that you enjoy doing as well?
I like watching telly, just whatever's like trending on Netflix or something, just chilling. Just going walks or bike rides, and I've started doing this like diamond painting thing. That's just like little beads that you stick on numbers.
Yeah.
That's quite relaxing when you're constantly on the go all the time.
Yeah, you got to switch off
You got to
sometimes.
switch off somehow.
Well, it's been great talking to you, Nicola, and I wish you the best for the future.
Thank you. It's been great chatting to you.
Thanks a lot.
No
See you later.
worries. Thank
Bye.
you. See you